Donald Trump seems to be unraveling as the nation celebrates this symbolic rejection of wannabe monarchs. The No Kings protest marks what many are calling the largest public outcry against Trump yet. A day so powerful in its message that he reportedly escaped Washington, D.C. for the comfort of Mar-a-Lago, hoping to hide from the wave of people who'd had enough of his self-absorbed antics. But even from his golf resort, guys, he can't escape the backlash. His attempt to retreat into luxury and ego has been overshadowed by the nationwide celebration of democracy, and it's clearly eating away at him. We are going to get in it all, but before we do, guys, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you already haven't and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it does go a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we diving deeper into Trump's meltdown over No King's Day, ruining his little golf escape, let's start with Jessica Tarloff, who explained perfectly why this day matters so much.
Sure, they certainly have rounded up some bad hombres, and I think if you attack a police officer, then you should be taken in and also get your due process rights. But we also know there was a ProPublica investigation that more than 170 Americans have been detained by ICE, with 20 held for more than a day without being able to contact their lawyer or a loved one. And that's what the No Kings protest is about. Donald Trump says, I'm not a king. And yeah, we get it. You're not a king. You wish you were a king, and you're running this administration as if you should have those kinds of rights. The lack of respect for the Constitution and the laws of this country are astounding. And Trump even told Kristen Welker when he was on Meet the Press a few months ago that he didn't know if he had to uphold the Constitution. And in preparation for today's show, I just wanted to go over a few of the things that people who are going to be out there on the streets peacefully protesting are upset about. Starting with the basics, signing an executive order to do away with birthright citizenship, which is literally in the Constitution, sending troops into blue cities.
Oh, you mean anchor
unilaterally implementing tariffs, which Congress gets to do. I already talked about the 170 Americans who've been locked up. Cracking down on the First Amendment, detaining students for op-eds you don't like, targeting law firms, universities, reallocating funds appropriated by Congress to fund your big ICE force, firing inspectors generals that are looking into your friends like Elon Musk, making billions off of crypto scams, and your kids are running all over the world making deals. And the Trump administration has defied 1 in 3 judges that have ruled against him. And you're seeing that from judges appointed up from Reagan up to Donald Trump that are saying absolutely not, you are breaking the law in taking some of these actions. All of that is what No King's Day is about.
This isn't some slow drift towards authoritarianism. It's already here, guys, embodied in Donald Trump himself. He's treating the presidency like a personal dictatorship, tearing power away from Congress with alarming ease. Figures like Mike Johnson and John Thune, instead of standing up for their constitutional duty, have reduced themselves to obedient enablers, too cowardly to challenge his abuses. Trump thrives on fear, guys. He wants the country to tremble before his threats and surrender to his delusions of absolute control. And when major institutions, from media networks to corporations, briefly bow to his intimidation tactics, they only feed his ego and embolden his power grab. It's shameful to watch so many so-called leaders fold under pressure, choosing loyalty to Trump over loyalty to democracy. But here's the thing, guys. Fear is the only weapon he has. The moment you stop letting him bully, the entire authoritarian fantasy just collapses. MAGA's lies and intimidation tactics are desperate attempts to scare people into silence.
Hate America rally.
Hate America rally.
Hate America rally.
We call it the Hate America rally.
The farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party.
This will be a Soros paid for protest where his professional protesters show up.
It's all the pro-Hamas wing and the Antifa people. They're all coming out.
This is exactly the kind of narrative the MAGA media machine wants to push. A distortion meant to discredit real people standing up for democracy. Their talking heads will tell you that today's rallies are fueled by hate or that they're meaningless. But the truth is, it's driving Trump and his followers up the wall. precisely because it is working. These gatherings aren't hate-filled. That's just Trump's trademark, isn't it, guys? His entire brand is built on division, intimidation, and fear. The MAGA movement wants you to feel powerless and scared, but that tactic is collapsing fast. People actually seeing it openly, and people also showing up across the country in huge numbers, united by a single message. And as for Trump, he's just fuming because nothing enrages him more than seeing Americans celebrate freedom from his delusions of power.
More than 2,000 people expected across the country protesting. I spoke with the president in the Oval Office yesterday about that. Watch. Mr. President, do you think that the government shutdown is all about this rally that's happening this weekend, the No Kings rally?
No, I mean, some people say they want to delay it for a king. This is not a king. That. You know, they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Right. No, but just so that Chuck Schumer could go and say, I'm fighting Trump.
Yeah, well, Chuck is, at the end of the line. He's being beaten by everybody that they poll against. I don't think it matters to him. I think he's just so dead that he'll do anything. They made one mistake. They didn't realize that gives me the right to cut programs that Republicans never wanted. Giveaways, welfare programs, etc. And we're doing that, and we're cutting them permanently. We're cutting a $20 billion project that Schumer fought for 15 years to get, and I'm cutting the project.
Donald Trump figured he'd hold up at Mar-a-Lago and sneak in a quiet round of golf, out of sight, out of mind. But his plans quickly evaporated. Trump wants you to believe he's winning, guys, but the record shows otherwise. He keeps losing ground, and the No Kings protest was just more proof. Rachel Manner has some sharp reporting on a few of those recent setbacks.
These likely massive protests tomorrow are coming at a time of pronounced weakness for him and his administration. And I think the mainstream media doesn't always talk about this. I think one of Trump's great geniuses, one of the things he's actually truly great at, is getting the media to cover things he wants them to cover. Even if he can't always get the kinds of coverage that he wants, he can almost always get the topics covered that he wants. And so because of that, I think some of the ways in which he is at a profound moment of weakness in his presidency have just kind of slipped by and not made the headlines. But I think if you're being real and you take a wide aperture look at what's going on with him right now, that's the pretty obvious bottom line. I mean, here's just one piece of that. So today's Friday. Usually every Thursday, we get the jobs numbers, right? We get the jobless claims data. That usually happens every Thursday. On the first Friday of every month, we're supposed to get the data on the number of new jobs created in unemployment. We're not getting that now, apparently because of the government shutdown. The first Friday after the shutdown started, they reportedly had that jobs report ready to go and they could have released it, but they didn't for some reason. That's not exactly a sign of strength. Private sector job indicators around the same time, payroll data and stuff, indicated that the jobs numbers right at the start of the shutdown might actually be horrific numbers. And so who knows, maybe that influenced Trump's decision about not allowing that data to be released, even though they had it right at the start of the shutdown. We'll never know, right? Before the shutdown, Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics when the jobs numbers started looking really bad. Well, now Trump has quietly withdrawn the nomination of the guy he picked to replace the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He's withdrawn that nomination and nobody new has been named for that job. Trump has also quietly just withdrawn his nomination for the person he wanted to put in charge of veterans benefits at the VA. That nomination has been pulled as well. Trump has also quietly just withdrawn his nominee for a senior oversight position at HUD. That nomination's been pulled as well. Trump has quietly just withdrawn his nomination for the person he wanted to be ambassador to Serbia. That's gone now, too. Trump has quietly just withdrawn his nomination to lead the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. That nominee then posted online about Trump donors telling him to, quote, rectify, meaning spike, a CFTC case against them, against the Trump donors. He says he refused to do that, and he says that's why his nomination was pulled. Trump's deputy White House chief of staff just quit and left. The chief of staff to Attorney General Pam Bondi just quit and left. They just removed the 25-year-old Fox News producer. They put in charge of the commission that's supposed to run the America's 250th birthday celebration. How come all these people are being pulled? How come all these nominations, controversial for one reason or another, are all just being yanked? Can't stand the bad press? Can no longer take it, political capital-wise, to have unpopular or problematic nominees pushed through the news cycle? You don't feel strong enough to bear that brunt anymore the way you used to? Today, this was a large protest on the lawn at the main campus quad at the University of Virginia. This is the protest there today with students and faculty and staff telling the UVA administration that they should refuse to sign this deal with the devil compact with the Trump administration to supposedly get special preferences in federal funding if you agree to Trump's ideological strictures on your academic freedom. This was the protest today at UVA, telling the UVA administration, don't you dare, do not sell us out, don't you sign that thing. This was today. And then this, tonight, was the statement, in fact, released by UVA's president, saying, okay, we're not doing it. We have told the Trump administration no. Remember when it was just Harvard standing up and all the other universities were too intimidated to say no? Well, now even the ones that caved before or that signed deals before with Trump, places like Brown University, even those schools have now learned that maybe signing deals with Trump is not a good idea. Trying to appease him, trying to stay on his good side is folly. It just shows weakness. It invites him to come back and bully you some more. And so in quick succession, we have seen MIT and Brown and Penn and USC and now UVA as well. They've all told the Trump White House, no, we're not doing it. We're not signing on to your little compact to restrict our academic freedom and our ideological freedom of movement in order to try to keep you happy. No, we are not doing it. We have learned our lesson. Forget it.
Donald Trump isn't the all-powerful menace he pretends to be, guys. He's far from it. The myth of his invincibility just crumbles more each day. In courtrooms across the country, he keeps losing. In the streets, he keeps facing massive public pushback. Even his precious golf outings, his attempts to hide from accountability are being interrupted by the sound of people demanding justice and democracy. Wherever he goes, he's met not with respect or fear, but with resistance. And every time he storms onto social media to rant about his fragile ego, and childish insults, he only proves how insecure he really is. And as always, guys, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment and drop a like on the video. If you made it all the way to the end, please leave a blue heart in the comments to show you're standing strong and refusing to be silent. Stay connected, and I'll see you on the next one.